Well, hello, Public Safety family. How you doing? Jason Squire here at your service from the Public Safety Network, here with the news of the day, our nod to public safety. Anyway, hope everybody's having a wonderful day. Let's get to it. You give me 3 minutes. It's going to blow your mind. Let's start with the U.S. Army. U.S. Army has contracted with FirstNet, the First Responder Network Authority, and their new broadband public safety network. Fantastic. As you all know, in public safety, FirstNet is the nationwide broadband public safety network that was launched back in 2017. They now have somewhere in the neighborhood of 13,000 agencies, over 1.5 million subscribers. Now count among them the U.S. Army. They have purchased over 3,200 lines, over 3,000 different devices, 700 signal boosters. They're also offering staging and kitting devices, including preloading many applications right on the devices for the U.S. Army. Just a testament of the reliability and the necessity of having a reliable, prioritized public safety network, and broadband network. So very exciting that the U.S. Army has joined forces, so to speak, with FirstNet in providing these services to all of our brave young women and men who are now serving our country. So very exciting what's going on there. As you know, FirstNet also offers 24/7 fleet of deployables, over 76 land and airborne deployables, including I call it the blimp, the dirigible, up there, which can create immediate on-demand networks where necessary, which of course, when you're talking about the armed forces, along with public safety, critical. So very exciting that has happened. That was announced last week with contract. I'm sure we're going to see more and more of this as FirstNet proliferates, not only at the state and local level, but at the federal level. What else is going on? In police, interesting data that police shootings, fatal police shootings of mentally ill, likely to occur more often in small to mid-sized departments in metro areas rather than large departments. Very interesting. In fact, 39% more likely, and that over the course of a 6-year period that was measured, there were over 1,300 fatal shootings of folks who would be in kind of psychological distress, which represented approximately 25% of all of the fatal shootings during that period of time. So 25% related to situations with a mental illness. And this is really relevant right now, obviously, with everything going on with police reform and a lot of what we've been talking about now for months in the calls for action for modifications to how police are addressing this. We know several different around the country have started implementing alternative response programs where they're using paramedics and mental health workers to go out either with police or instead of police on these calls. And which leads me to the next story, which is San Francisco has now implemented those very measures where they're going to remove police and any armed personnel from responding to calls where there is psychological, behavioral, or drug abuse type of distress involved with the call. And they're going to have a joint group of paramedics, mental health professionals, and peer counselors who are going to go out on an unarmed basis. According to data, this could represent in itself about 25% of the calls that police go out on today. So really going to have a major shift in personnel and the focus of policing. And we'll wait to see what the results are, but I'm actually encouraged by this type of collaboration. If you hear from or have any talk to various policing agencies, I think that there's genuine agreement that they may not feel particularly well equipped to deal with some of these mental instability and psychiatric behavioral cases. And so this could be a very, very positive thing. It would be interesting to see what happens in San Francisco. I understand that when you add homelessness and calls 911 calls for homelessness, that 25% figure in terms of number of police calls will rise even higher. So could have a major shift in the number of numerosity and the types of calls that police are responding to in the San Francisco Bay Area. So interesting to see what's going on there. DOJ has announced 21 alleged white supremacists with drug and firearm violations have been apprehended. This is very good news. This was last week. And there's the soldiers of the Aryan culture. I want to get these right. The silent Aryan warriors and the noble elect thugs who've been operating apparently throughout the state of Utah and distributing firearms and methamphetamine have been apprehended. 11 defendants were arrested last week. 10 were already in custody, the statement said. So this is very good news, especially given what appears to be a rise in white supremacy and in light of the current political culture where there's clearly debate about whether this type of behavior is being encouraged. So it's good to see that our authorities are cracking down and are making progress. Speaking of federal authorities, the U.S. Attorney General, Mr. William Barr, announced at a major city chiefs association meeting in New Orleans this week that their report on police reform should be hitting the streets soon. It was held up by a federal judge, or at least the work of that commission was held up for some period of time. But at least according to Attorney General Barr, that those recommended changes are going to be hitting the streets soon. And as he says, puts it, he thinks there are many excellent and constructive ideas. So let's see what happens when that comes out. It'll be very interesting. Again, the political versus the very pragmatic approach to what's going on in policing today. We just saw heard about what San Francisco is doing. So it'll be interesting to see if there is discussions about changing the types of calls that police go on. We've also already heard about things like banning chokeholds and other types of aggressive behavior, requiring police officers to step in when they see a misconduct, reporting misconduct, having public databases of offending police. So be interesting to see what's in this report. We will certainly bring you that news once we have it. And then finally, as we know, we're just a couple of weeks out from Election Day. Michigan is taking some significant steps there, particularly in light of the recent threats to kidnap the governor. They have issued a pronouncement. There'll be no open carry anywhere near polling stations 100 feet within the entrance, and nowhere where folks can enter or exit or any hallways along those lines. They are completely banning the ability to open carry over concerns, given the current administration's call for poll watchers to be dispatched across the country, according to President Trump. Over concerns that there may be malfeasance in the voting process, but that is a concern to a lot of state and local lawmakers, that's going to create voter intimidation, and I can certainly see why. So that's one thing that Michigan has done, banning open carry. So with that, no open carry here. I can tell you that right now because I'm done. That is the news of the day. I rocked it. You guys enjoy your day, and we will be back with more news soon. I'm out of here. See ya.